Hello everyone. I know a lot of you have been asking about the kit we're taking with us on the PCT, so I just thought we'd do a quick video, just run through everything really quickly that we're taking, wearing, electrics, tent, sleeping equipment, all the above really, and just have a quick run through. If there's any questions, please comment below. If you'd like to know more information about any specific item, again, just comment below and we'll attach a link for you to look back in the future. So to get started, we'll start off with the things I'm going to be wearing on the first day when we set off from the PCT at the monument. So these are the underwear I'll be taking on the trip on the hike with me. Step 1 brand, they're called. Underwear, they're really good for people who suffer with chafing. I found that they're brilliant for anyone who's hiking who's sort of a little bit bigger in size and weight. A really good brand. I think they're from Australia or New Zealand. On my feet, I'm going to be wearing 2 pairs of socks most of the time. As a base layer sock, these ones are called Injinjis, and as you can see, you've got separate toes that divide. And what that does, it stops your toes rubbing together while they're inside your shoe or your sock. I suffer really badly with blisters on my toes and also on the bottom of my feet, and these have got a bit of a thicker system on the underneath as well, so absolutely perfect for that reason. Over socks, I know a lot of people on the PCT tend to wear a brand called Darn Tough. I'll be wearing a brand better known in the UK probably, called Bridgedale. I find them a lot more comfortable because I found the Darn Tough socks a little bit tight on the top of your foot, and then that causes a bit of rubbing and itching, and that can get sore and blister as well. I think everybody's feet are different sizes and shapes, so for me, Bridgedale's work for me really well, so that's what I'll be sticking with. Again, in terms of underclothing, I've got a kind of sports training vest under base layer. I've used this specific one for many years now. I used it when I was working in Afghan in the desert as well, in the gym and training, and I've always been really pleased with it. What I like about it is it's quite stretchy, comfortable, but also I find it soaks up sweat really well, which I think really helps in terms of when we're hiking in the desert parts. I've tried a lot of different brands, different ones. This one was quite cheap off Amazon, but it's performed far better than any of the ones I've tried, such as Under Armour or any of your bigger brands. So I'm going to stick with that. And just to check, the brand is called TCA, Tango Charlie Alpha. So if anybody's interested and they're struggling with other ones, give it a try. In terms of trousers, again, being quite a bigger guy, I've really struggled to find some comfortable trousers. Again, I've tried all your brands, your bigger brands, your more expensive brands, and they've either been tight on my thighs, tight on my bum, or when I've tried to climb over, for instance, a tree or a rock or anything like that, they've really pulled on me, and that tends to wear the stitching out and split. So I've stuck with, not the best brand in the world, but these ones are made by Trespass. What I really like about Trespass trousers, especially again for people who are a bit bigger in weight, the material itself is very stretchy, so it has a lot of give. Also with these ones, they've got quite a strong double stitching around the outsides, especially on the part of the zip where you can zip them off to make them into shorts. I found that in the past, the Trespass trousers I've been wearing, I've probably had the longest, and they're still out, like still working perfect. So I'm going to stick to what I know, move away from the big brands and just go for a brand that I know works for me personally. I got from a place in the Lake District called Fishers. It's a brand called Arcade I'm not very familiar with, but the belt fits me really well and it feels really strong and well made. And again, because I'm carrying a bit more weight, the belt needs to be strong. Butt crack tends to come out quite often, so a belt is very important, teamed up with basically a vest. Nobody wants to do a PCT looking at my butt crack. And moving on to the top layer, I'm going to be starting off in a hiking shirt. This one is by Crag Hoppers. As you can see, like a khaki colour, off grey. I've not actually worn this to try because I got it literally just before we came away for Finland. So I've not actually had a chance to try it out, but I've worn it and it feels comfortable enough. But I am actually taking a spare t-shirt with me anyway, just in case it doesn't feel comfortable. I'll probably swap it out and wear something else. Sound a bit rough. And like again, this one, it feels really nice. It's quite lightweight. I think it'll team up really well with the base layer that I was talking about underneath for sweat wicking. So obviously starting off in the desert, it's going to be warm during the day, cold during the night. So for during the day, I've got a North Face windbreaker jacket, just to put over the top of my other things if it's a little bit breezy in places, if it's open area. Just something nice to have over the top. Really, really thin, lightweight, nice jacket. I've tried this on a few times, and it's kind of one of the things what I've purposely done with my jackets is I've bought jackets that are probably a little bit tight for me at the moment, because with the amount of mileage we're doing, I'm expecting to lose quite a bit of weight as we're walking. So I'd rather have it tight at the beginning but then last me all the way through, rather than it fitting me to start with, me losing quite a bit of weight hopefully and then it hanging off me. You'll probably notice the theme is kind of greens to start with for some reason. It's just the way it's happened. Onto a puffer jacket, which I'll probably have with me to start with. As the day goes on, I'll probably end up putting this on more towards the early evenings, etc. for walking still. This is a Rab puffer, really, really nice to wear. Tried a few on, again, a little bit tight for me at the moment, but really nice, warm, comfortable jacket. It also comes with its own little stuff sack, which I like. So when I'm packing it away, I can pack it away dead small, compact. Yep, my puffer, and then onto my footwear, my trainers. So these trainers I'm going to be wearing, the Cascadia 16s by Brooks. I really like these. This is my third pair of Brooks Cascadias now. And they're just really comfortable. I've never had any problems with them. A lot lighter than wearing a boot. I know a lot of people say about they'd probably prefer to wear hiking boots. I think just because of the difference in conditions and what you're walking on, I think these would be much comfier. Like I say, lightweight. They've got a steel plate in the bottom as well for extra protection. This has got the attachments on it for some gaiters. I've got a set of gaiters called ultra running gaiters. So I know a lot of people, especially back home who aren't into hiking and things, probably aren't fully familiar with what a gaiter is. So a gaiter is to stop small objects like stones and grit and any sort of thing off the floor, really getting into your boots, causing you itching, scratching, blisters, anything like that. So what you tend to do is you put your hook through the clip there at the front, and then on the back that lifts off and you can stick that on to the back. So this is one I made earlier. So as you can see, that's clipped into the front there and also sticks onto the Velcro on the back, and obviously that goes up your leg, trousers over the top, kind of makes a bit like a tent for the top of your shoe to stop anything going in and out. Really good, really useful. A lot of people highly recommend it. So that's my starting equipment kit there that I'll be starting with. Along the way there'll be things I'll be interchanging and also things I need as spares. So as I've already mentioned, I've got 2 power pairs of Bridgedale socks. The plan's going to be wear one, wash one and have one ready to swap over maybe halfway through the day if my feet feel really sweaty, or if I just think I need to change them up. Again, the Injin G's to go underneath, exactly the same as the other pair. These ones are a bit thinner, so I'll probably more often wear them with these socks, because these 2 socks are a bit thicker, so that'll pair them together quite well. Sun hoodie. A lot of people wear sun hoodies, especially in the desert section. It's got a UV rating on it, protection, so it protects you from the sun. It's kind of a similar thing to the grey base layer vest I was referring to earlier on. Really lightweight, thin material, and when I think I need it, I'll probably wear that rather than the original vest I was going to wear. As I've already mentioned, I've brought a t-shirt with me just in case I need to swap it out for the hiking shirt. This is just a plain black t-shirt that I bought before I went, silverback. Again, lightweight, dries really fast, and it's just a really nice comfortable t-shirt to wear. So that's my spare t-shirt if I need it. If I don't need it, I might just send it back out or put it in a bounce box, something similar to that. Same as I said earlier on. My underwear, I've got another pair of step ones. These step ones are different to the last ones in the sense they're a lot longer in leg and they're a lot more comfortable to wear when you're going up hills and mountains. I find them a lot better because there's a lot more rubbing going upwards all the time. So I've brought them. If I think I need to swap them out with the other ones, even if it's midway through the day, I'll go and find somewhere quiet to go and swap them out. And the other pair of underwear I've got, again the same system as the socks. Wear one, wash one, have one spare. These ones I've got a different brand, Ex Officio. A lot more people tend to wear these on the PCT. Again, I've tried them out, they're really comfortable. They're just not as easy to get in the UK, so I've only got one pair of them. And base layer fleece, mid layer fleece. This one's again by Rab. What I really like about this is the inside of it is it's like a micro fleece, but again really nice material inside. Excuse me again for coughing. And again it follows down the theme of me wearing a lot of green stuff. On to waterproof materials. So I've got some waterproof trousers by Berghaus. Again, I've tried other ones. I don't think other ones have been a problem, but what I like about these ones is they're really easy to get on and off, but you've got a vent at the side that you can zip undo, so you can let air in if you need to, because if you're wearing them all day you tend to get really sweaty legs with waterproofs. It's nice just to have a bit of a vent out, let them breathe. And again, everyone knows Berghaus is a good brand. And waterproof jacket. When we seen this in the shop at the Lake District, I wasn't that keen on the colour. I wasn't going to pick it up to start with, and even I think Joe agreed with me that the colour wasn't great. But actually, I tried it on, and surprisingly it suited me. The colour, which I've never worn this sort of colour before. But this is probably one of the things I've bought that I really like the most now. Just a really nice waterproof jacket. Again, it's got vents in places to let some heat out. It's really comfortable. It sits quite snug in the right areas. And I quite like the hood on it as well. It's got like a little peak in the hood. So if it is raining, you can stand the peak out and you don't get rainwater running in like you do with some hoods on waterproof jackets. So this one's by Patagonia. And again, like I say, I just really like the jacket. So as well as all the clothing I've mentioned, there's a few other accessories weather related that I'm probably going to need. One thing's very important, especially in the desert sections, some sun gloves. Obviously living in the UK, we've never needed to wear sun gloves before. When you're walking all day with your hands out in the open, the sun tends to get on them. So it's just nice to protect them like any other part of your skin really. Especially when you're walking with the poles, they'll be out all the time. I've got a spare belt, but also I'm going to use it as a strap to hold my mattress, my blue mattress, onto my bag when I'm not using it on a night to sleep. I'll go more into sleep equipment in a moment. Well, like I say, it's a spare belt, but also it's a good use of a strap if I need it. If the weather gets cold, I've got Ye Old Faithful Ayers Park Middlesbrough hat. I've probably had that hat about 20 years now. I found it not so long ago, and actually it's a really thin, lightweight hat that I really like, and also it pays a bit of homage to my hometown Middlesbrough. At the same time, I've got some Berghaus gloves. Again, just to keep your hands warm in the cold. I've had these quite a while and these are really comfortable as well. I've got a buff, and what I like about this buff is at one end of it is fleecy, so if it is really cold out you've got something warm against your face. But when you're in the warmer areas as well, there's a thinner part at the bottom, so you can have either one upside down, put it the right way to make it suit your terrain and the temperature at the time. When it does get snowy, again I'll talk about my poles a bit more later on, but these are the snowshoes for the poles, just to make them grip better in the snow conditions. Like I say, we'll go more into that. And oh yeah, and this is the Sunbrella by Montbell. Again, just helps to keep the sun off you when you're hiking in the desert. And Like I say, it folds up really small, really light. Perfect for the conditions we're out there. I might be wrong, but I think it'll be okay to use if it's raining as well. And I've got myself a little model, my little Santa model. So a baseball cap for sunny conditions. It's a Ted Baker cap, which is not probably known very well for its hiking equipment, more for its fashion clothing, but it's just really thin, nice and light hat. It's the lightest cap I think I've found, so I'm going to give this a whirl and see how this gets on. If, because it's really light, like I say on the top, if that becomes a problem with the sun, then I'll probably swap it out in one of the towns, send it back home or send it on to someone else. We do have a lady in America who we can send things to and from, so if it comes to it we can send some things to her for her to hold on to until we've finished. And finally, the sunglasses are from Sun God. These are F1 McLaren limited edition, I believe. I've got myself a lovely little faffy neck thing to hold them up and a cloth to clean them. As you can see, they're polarised, very trendy, and an Oakley bag that Joe kindly gave me just to hold them in because it's solid, and the packet I got with them is only a thin lightweight one. So yeah, that's pretty much my clothing kit. So I'm going to do another one based on my sleep equipment, my bag and cooking utensils, and then another one on my electrics. So that's that for now. Thank you very much.